Peace, my peaceful people. This is for my Libran collective. My Libran sun, moon, rising, north nodian folk. What's good? It's your brother man say I knew. We are back with your readings for this cycle. Alright. Before I get into that though, let me say thank you to all of my subscribers who have been interacting with the videos. You know, you've been dropping your likes, you've been leaving your comments, you know what I'm saying, you've been getting at me, you know, for counsel in my email. All of that's great stuff. We definitely appreciate you for it, you know what I'm saying, even if we sometimes don't say it, because, you know, mine be going a mile a minute sometimes. But yeah, you know, definitely say thank you. Thank you to my new subscribers. If you are new and you just getting down with us, much appreciation to you. All right. You know what I mean? Stick around. There's some good stuff here. All right. So with that being said, let's get involved into this reading for our Libran folk. All right. What is God talking about this week for you? Okay, we got Wajet Tuchas. Wajet Tuchas. Wajet Tuchas. Heru Hetep. Wajet Tuchas. Heru Hetep. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just so y'all can see what it look like, we got Wajet Tuchas, Heru Hetep. Yeah. Learn to love my alien script. Alright. Special. Alright, alright, we got Wajet, right? We say what's up with Libra, the first thing pops out is Wajet. What's up with that, Libra? What you into? What you up to, Libra? What's your Wajet? You know, Wajet is all kinds of surprises, right? You know, Wajet could be, you know, the surprise that you get or the surprise that you give. So, you know, y'all gotta help me out with that. What we talking about? What we talking about on this Wajet stuff? Y'all, you know, catching it, or y'all, you know, dishing it out? You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, neither one of those is good. You know what I'm saying? With Heru coming behind it. All right, we in Heru cycle. All right, you know, is that will, though, 2 or 10? Is that will positive or negative for my new folk? Right? Is the will, because Heru is the will, right? Heru is the will, right? When we say Heru, you know, other tarot readers might say Archangel Michael, right? Heru is the Archangel Michael within you, right? As above, so below, said by the ancient Egyptians, right? When we look at the tree of life, we are looking at, you know, a snapshot of the breakdown of God, right? The faculties of God and man, right? Because it's micro and macro. As above, so below. So each of the spheres corresponds to an aspect of your psyche, right? As well, it corresponds to a deific principle out in the world, because it's as above, so below. We are this thing. We are made in the likeness of God, right? People always say image. Y'all break down that word for me in the scripts, right? Does it say image or does it say likeness? It says we were made like God, right? So we are the same substance, the same thing as what God is what we are at the essence. But y'all can look at some of my other videos on that, right? Heru is your will. You know, coming behind the Wajet, right? So what is your will on, right? Is your will on something Wajet? What is Wajet? I didn't even talk about that. Wajet is an energy thing, right? Wajet many times is subliminal workings, right? Subliminal manifestation of the hot side of life force. Right? So this is psychical heat. Right? This is psychical projection. Right? This is juju many times. Right? This comes, Wajek can manifest as anger. Right? This could be you getting angry at somebody. Right? Heru coming behind it, being very willful now about your next move. You angry and it sparks your will. Well, what is your will going to do? Are you going to do something, offensive or defensive? You know what I mean? Perhaps, depending on what you're perceiving. That is the question right about now to my Libra folk, right? What are y'all doing with y'all will? What are y'all doing with your wide jet and your will, right? Wide jet can many times spark as a surprise. You go, something makes you go, you could add in whatever that was. Why'd you do that? Or, I don't know. I'm saying it could be anything. Whatever makes you go, with the shock of surprise or, some sort of level of, arousal of your life force in a shocking turn of events, right, causes your will to come on, right? Is this for good or for bad? You know what I mean? What are you perceiving when that you go, is that, have you taken that to Tehuti, right? To find out how you should deal with it? Or are you just knee-jerking now? You knee-jerk response. Many times that's what happens with this YJet reading, right? So with Heru coming behind it, you are urged to use your will to lead your animal, right? That at the essence of the day is the reason for our will, is to lead the aspects of our being, right? And, ultimately, the worst thing we got going on inside of us is our animal, right? That part of us that's not of heaven, right? Part of us that was born of earth, the flesh, right? With its emotional and sensual, issues, right? So, you are being told to lead yourself, right? To lead yourself up out of your animal, up out of your instincts, Wajet, right? Be on the lead of your animal instincts, for whatever it's doing to you this cycle. As I look at that, it was 8 minutes, right? So it was 8. That's Tehuti's number. So I'm in the chord was correct here. All right, let us talk to the E King. Straight. Open. Straight open, open stress. Straight open, open stress. We have Chien on the bottom. Chen on the bottom, pardon me. Open stress. Open. Open stress, open close. Open stress, open close. Interesting. We have the 27 into the 30. 27 into the 30. Alright. So the 27 hexagram, right? We have Ken over Chen, right? With the middle two lines stress. Okay, so this is the hexagram of nourishment, right? What are you nourishing yourself on? What are you putting in your mouth? What are you putting in your eyes? What are you putting in your ears? And what is it doing to you? How are you being nourished? How are you nourishing yourself? What are you seeking to for nourishment? Right? Let's talk to the scrolls. Let's talk to, this is the Astrology of the E King by Chu and Sherelle. Right? I call them my scrolls because they all beat up. Alright, third line, right? Okay, so again, this is the hexagram of nourishment, right? What are you putting inside your mouth? What are you nourishing yourself on? What are you using to nourish yourself? Okay, so at the third line, we have deliberate foregoing of nourishment, misfortune, 10 years are wasted, advancement not advantageous. Line 3, as the lower center of the mouth, looks to the jawbone, line 1, for its nourishment, rather than line 6, its normal correlate. The lesson here, as elsewhere in the I Ching, is that man must develop his inner self, from which auspicious external life will flow. From which an auspicious external life will follow. Pardon me. A change of this line to its opposite produces hexagram 22, pi, which is concerned with external embellishments. A whole cycle of life, 10 years in parentheses, is wasted in pursuing such a course. All right, so stop right there. It's saying that whatever you're involved in is a waste. You're wasting your time. You're pursuing a course that amounts to a waste of time. Right? You're hurting something about your life. Right? Any advancement in this direction will only make matters worse. Heed the warning. He will be reasonably talented and sufficiently wise and able to restrain and repress damaging desires, as well as to reform if he makes mistakes. This is for the most auspicious, right? And where we see it says he will be, it means he should be, right? We know that, right? That for the most auspicious circumstance, he should be reasonably talented. He should be sufficiently wise to be able to restrain and repress damaging desires, as well as reform if he makes mistakes. His life will be on a humble scale but good, okay? Least auspicious, he will be violent, base, and dishonest, given to dishonest person, given to pursuing evil goals. He will have a difficult life which will end in disaster. Now, this is a warning to you if you are, out there, if you listening, you know if this is you or not. What's your goals looking like? What your involvements are looking like? Okay? What you putting in your mouth? Right? What are you nourishing yourself on? Okay? He will be defamed and tempted by or subject to corruption. He will be defamed and tempted by or subject to corruption. Right? So corruption, right? That's, what corruption is, right? Moral values. I'll be looking all over the place. Moral values will be at a low ebb, resulting in difficulties. Moral values. Your morals. Where your morals at? Are your morals in heaven somewhere, or are they somewhere else? For ordinary people, he will overindulge in sensuality and dissipation, many troubles. All right, so many times you see this third line where you're doing something, that's going to jeopardize, something somewhere else, right? This is the picture of a wife cheating on their husband, or a husband cheating on his wife, right? You know what I mean? You are putting somebody else's something in your mouth. Just the way it's coming out, y'all. Sorry. You know what I mean? You are nourishing yourself with something, you're nourishing the desire aspect of yourself, right? And it's going to do harm to your future, good, right? Something that you have that's good, whether it's the relationship or whether it's your health or whatever. You're doing damage to yourself by what you're doing, right? And you're wasting your time, right? Nourishment at the line 4, right? Going to line 4. Nourishment at the mountaintop, good fortune, staring around like a starving tiger, no error. The heavenly and true nourishment is at the top of the mountain, line 6. Those depicted here know something about it, but they are at the foot of the mountain, line 4. But as they are at the foot of the mountain, line 4, they are looking everywhere with keen eyes, trying to discern how they can become genuinely nourished themselves. Now, not necessarily, right? This could be someone staring around trying to get something. You know what I'm saying? This could be, the oracle will use the lines to abstract to you, you know, what's going on in the situation. So, you know, this could be somebody saying, oh, how can I be, you know if it's this, you know who you are in this, right? What have you been doing? What have you been, you know, staring around for? Have you been looking up spiritual videos to see how you can correct your bullshit, right? Your sensual urges or whatever? Have you been on the phone trying to get at the next dude or chick who's in your option list, trying to get some or whatever like that, right? Have you been trying to get at your drug man or whatever it may be to get you some nourishment or whatever it may be, right? You know what you staring around like a hungry tiger about. That's what this line is talking about. You staring around like a hungry tiger. Either it's for something nourishing you on the high level, which this should be, it's at line 4, which is the minister, or is it the low level, right? This comes in sync with the third line, which is the lower line of man. Okay? So, you know, what's going on, folks? Man, this is, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so that's all I'm going to read about that, because that's it, pretty much. Right? This is what, cooperate by giving and receiving at line 3, right? He believes himself to be sufficient, neither giving nor receiving nourishment. He will experience a period of misfortune. This is line 3 for the keynotes and condensations for daily cycles, right? Line 4, analyze how best you can help others and be like a hungry tiger. Find the right nourishment, be willing to share it with others. Okay, so if you got to be like a hungry tiger staring around, don't be trying to stare around for, you know, somebody else's, you know what I'm saying? Stare around for some wisdom. Come watch some Tehuti Speaks videos. You know what I'm saying? This goes into the 30, right? Hexagram 30. Okay? Hexagram 30 is clarity, right? Clarity. Okay? So if you do the right thing, hopefully you will end up in clarity, right? If you don't damage yourself too much at the third line, right? Damage your health, damage your relationships, or whatever it may be that you damaging, right? You know, all of this is, you know, applicable because we got Wajet. Wajet is what? Passions. Wajet is that feeling of sexual excitement. That's what Wajet is, okay? Heru, Hetep. Heru is your will. 30. 30 is very much a Heru correspondence. The 30 is clarity. The 30 is putting clarity to this weird nourishment situation, right? You know, what are you nourishing yourself on, right? What is it doing to you? Get some clarity on that situation to fix it. Heru, you know what I mean? What's that Wajet about? Are you looking at what your passions are doing? And are you fixing it? Alright? That's what's going on, Libra. Let's talk to the tarot. See what the tarot talk about in the situation. We got death, right? We're splitting the deck on death and the chariot. Chariot is motivation. Chariot can be very much a Wajet, talking about passions. This card here means putting an end to something, ending a cycle. Right? What's it talking about, right? I say it to you so you can say what it is. We're talking about going into it. Alrighty now. Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacle has come to greet the people. Alright, on the bottom is the Knight of Swords in the Re. Okay? So the Page of Pentacles, right? Okay, Knight of Swords. No, let's get it all. Knight of Pentacles in the Re, right? So, you know, whatever your argumentation was, you know, maybe you are putting it down wisely, right? You're stopping the argument. You're stopping the angst. Maybe, you know what I mean, you're now trying to not hold the sword up against somebody in a circumstance that you are not necessarily right in, right? These guys are upside down. Three of Wands, right? Three of Wands is something like a wish fulfillment card, right? This is when your ships come sailing in, right? When something you want to happen, happens. You know what I'm saying? Right? Two of Wands. Well, maybe not so much because it's reverting, right? We got the Three of Wands to the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is the planning stage. It's supposed to go Two of Wands, Three of Wands, right? So it's going backwards, suggesting that maybe you're not going to get your ships sailing in, right? Your ships are going back, right? Based on, it's like this. Like, think about this, right? Think about if you're living life, right? And, life is going to go in a particular direction for you as long as you do these things. But then you do this thing, right? And then think about everything, this thing, right? Whatever this thing was something negative, right? So you do something negative, right? So this thought keeps coming to me. This is weeks and weeks to start been coming at me. So life now stops, unbeknownst to you, right? You think you're just flowing along with life, but right after you did that negative thing, the deities, God, everybody stopped and changed the destiny for you. And now, because you did that, this line over here is not going to be available to you. Your path now shifts. And your life keeps going. You keep going along with life, thinking that you're on that path, even though you just did this thing to take yourself off of that path, onto another path. And your ships don't come in. You know what I'm saying? You revert, right? Your ships that were for you are now reverting because of something that you did. Just taking into consideration. All right, so last card in our couch is the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So this suggests going back to something. Going back to the well. You know what I'm saying? So, we didn't talk about the Page of Pentacles, right? Page of Pentacles is a younger-minded consideration of the body, the physical being, right? With Earth, right? Earth is the physical body. Earth is like a Geb reference, the physical body, right? So we're talking about an immature use of the physical body here, right? In prominent position, right? By abstraction, this also could be, a new situation of pentacles, right? Perhaps this is a new opportunity, right? On the other side of Geb, right? But then coming behind that, we got the swords, right? The swords in the reverse, a Knight of Swords, right? Knight of Swords, right? Upright, this guy's arguing. This guy's coming to, cut you down on an argument, right? He's intellectual. He's like what? He's like that young, prosecuting attorney. That's who this guy is, right? But in the reverse, he's not on his argument. His argumentation is weak. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't too right? Right behind that is the Ace of Wands. So there is a fire. It's like putting out the fire, right? The fire that's being kind of put out, right? And look, we got Ace of Wands, Three of Wands, Two of Wands. Okay? So, Ace of Wands is passions, right? Passionate stuff, okay? Right? So, the passions are there, but the argument is not. The right is not, right? Swords are about the truth, right? So, whatever the argument is, we're still talking about the young bull, right? The young bull, he want to fight. He got the passion to fight, but he's not right. You know what I'm saying? His experiences, got him moving in such a way where he ain't right. So maybe he is not having the fight, but how it occurs is Three of Wands, right? You got things that you want to come in, right? But now you got Two of Wands in the reap. So you're going backwards. You're going backwards. Not only are you going backwards, but there is an Eight of Cups in the reverse. So you're going back to something, probably that you shouldn't be, right? Rather than leaving, right? Upright, she leaves. She gets out of there. She's like, look, I'm out of here. She leaves. You know what I mean? She got to go. But you're not going, right? You know, it could be an addiction that you're getting caught up in. Might have something to do with the 27th third line. Getting caught up in whatever you put inside your mouth. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a diviner, right? But there it is, folks. That's your reading, right? So hopefully y'all can do something with this. You know what I'm saying? Do something with it. You know what I mean? You know, do what you got to do. Oh, right? Let me tell you like this, right? This is Heru cycle, okay? So Heru is imploring you to employ your will in the circumstance, right? And I don't mean, you know, just be a dogged, hey, no, I mean, you know, the enlightened will looks to God. The enlightened will looks to God, right? The unenlightened will looks to its ego, right? Looks to the earth for whatever solution or whatever. But the enlightened will looks to God. So this is be your enlightened will and seek clarity and get clarity on what you're doing, right? Fix whatever your passion is having you going towards, right? Because, you know, as the tarot speaks to, you're in jeopardy of, you know, losing your pentacles or, you know, reverting some situation of progress. All right, so that's that. All right, we're going to say peace and love. We're going to do it again next cycle. Peace, y'all.